Good afternoon and hail Satan, one and all. This is my Sinful Sunday broadcast, extended a little bit because of the Labor Day weekend. But here I am doing what Drew does, right? Um, in my little book, my Master Counselor Book of Devilish Deeds, today we're going to be speaking about Satanic Symbology. Wow. Okay. And I think it's a useful thing to speak of, out there. It is a one-on-one video to people with the knowledge that Drew has, and probably for some of my viewers out there. But there are also a lot of people that may be able to see this video upcoming, and are new to things, so they may not understand our symbology and those kind of things, right? So I'm going to talk just a little bit about satanic symbology without taking too much of everybody's time today. We have an upcoming Sabbath Fest less than 2 weeks away. Okay. So you can imagine how busy I am as the Master Counselor Emeritus at this time particularly. Drew writes rituals. We're presenting new Brother to Darkness rituals with the Brother to Saint New Generation at this upcoming fest. There's so much we do. So we're very busy anytime before an offline event that we are holding for our national members and our guests. These are cool events. I wish people could, find us enough to be able to attend some of these things. We are going to actually move from just Facebook presentation about our event to the Wide World Web that's ongoing right now. So we know that the Offline Sabbath Festival, sponsored by Brother to Saint, is going to be much, much bigger. It's heading that direction already. You can count on it. Drew already knows. Demons speak to me, and I've been networking and doing those kind of things for a great many years, probably before most Satanists were even alive. Coffee. Gotta love it. I love my coffee like I love my magic. Black. Just like myself. All right, everybody. Again, good morning or good afternoon. And whichever where you are. And satanic symbology. Let's talk about the principle of satanic symbology, which you see hanging over my head. You see there the Gota Mendez within the inverted satanic pentacle or star. You see it's encircled. At each of the points, you'll see there is a sign and a symbol. Every one of those symbols means something. Now, I'm not going to go into discussing just one particular symbol at this point, but let me go further with this symbol. This symbol never belonged to the Church of Satan. Okay. Now, the Church of Satan did incorporate it into the early Church of Satan. Dr. LeVay did that. But it came from an occult encyclopedia. See other Brotherhood articles where I go into this in much more detail, but that's a fact. But it has also now become a primary satanic symbol. You see me wearing another one here. Now, why we say this is more exclusively Brotherhood is because our principal entities and deities within the Brother to Saint are indeed Samael and Lucifer and Lilith, right? So that's what you're going to see many of our high clergy wearing, basically. And this is the one that we feel is really the accurate. Okay. Yes, it was used by the COS too, besides the one above my head. Is accurate sigil of Baphomet. Okay. So yes, the brother's going to be using that, particularly our high clergy. And you'll learn a lot more about Lilith, the mother of the Brotherhood, and Samael, which is another name for, of course, Satan, our master. Okay, so we know that symbol is a really important symbol in Satanism. You're going to see that one all over the place. Okay. Then you have another depiction, which is the Sabbatic goat, which was put out originally by a man named Flavius Levi. Now, Flavius Levi actually had a name. His name was Louis Constant. Okay. And he was a French occultist. Okay. he wasn't really a Jewish occultist like the name Levi would make you think. Okay, but he did do quite a bit of Jewish mysticism in his time. You can count on that one. Okay, so you have another symbol of Satanism, which is that sabbatic goat, which is we call the actual sabbatical goat. Now, there's a wealth of symbology just with that. And again, the brother to Satan has written about that as well. Okay. But before it became adopted by Satanism as a satanic symbol, or a symbol of, again, Lilith and Samael, right? Because it's an androgynous symbol, obviously. Breast of a female, phallus of a male. So the goat is actually what? Both genders. It's an androgynous symbol. Okay. Now, what most people don't know in Satanism is actually we have both of those polarities within us as individual Satanists. We actually have a masculine and feminine androgyny with us, actually, in our own real makeup. Okay. And that's why the goat itself is a female and a male. It can be either one, right? And actually, that depiction of the sabbatic goat by Flavius Levi is actually androgynous, as I said. And yes, it's an important symbol. It also is a symbol of us to open our horizons and broaden our knowledge and be a lot more accepting of others. Here we see an occult symbol and satanic symbol later that actually reflects two genders in one. And in today's world, you see that actually happening. You see a lot of people that may have been born one gender or another, but they identify with being the opposite gender. And they'll either, they'll either move into wanting to change their gender or they'll remain the same or whatever. But the real truth is Drew's telling everybody is it's in all of us, the male and female. Okay, where does the female come in with a male? Easily. When you see a male, like Drew, as a master counselor, that has to nurture, right? I'm a nurturer also. I help people come up. I teach people. Okay? I care about people. Now, does that mean I'm passive and the other one just means aggressiveness? No. Both. When and if the need arises, I can change from that being passive to aggressive. You better count on that. I wouldn't have been in power this long, guys. Okay. But it's true. So that symbol, it does relate to today's times. All right. It really does. Much, much older than people might think. But Flavius Levi did, he was the first person that showed it publicly, right? Okay. And there's various other satanic symbols that Drew wants to talk about, okay, and explain. Okay, probably the next satanic symbol I would want to explain, which is important because of stereotype in Satanism, and that would be the inverted crucifix. Now, a little glitch there. Mercury's still retrograde, giving some energies from that retrograde. Okay. So, the inverted crucifix, it represents all Satanists knowing that the Christian church has what? Brainwashed many, many people and conditioned people with quite a few lies and fabrications. Okay? And don't get me wrong, Drew's not bashing everybody, even the other side. To a time that we do know there has to be a total rejection of this falsehood, right? There has to be. So that's also a symbol that's very, very important in Satanism. But it's not the stereotype that you would think it appears to be, right? It's turning upside down of those Christian dogma values and thought forms that they try to give people, right? Which, again, I told you, it's based on falsehood. Okay? Christianity seeks to subjugate. Satanism seeks to make you a master or a mistress. Or both for some of us that may, going back to the Flavius Levi sabbatical may even actually be cross-gendered, right? Or embracing androgyny in their makeup. All right. And the inverted crucifix is very powerful. But let me tell you something, because it inverts the bullshit from that conditioning and brainwashing of Christianity, right? You absolutely. But let me tell you, it's a little secret. The crucifix, right side up, has never been a Christian symbol, my brothers and sisters. Wow. Drew said that. Yeah, I did. You know what it was? A pagan symbol. One version of the tau cross in some left-hand path orders. You'll know what I'm talking about there. It's another version of the Egyptian crux ansata, the Egyptian ankh, better known as the witch's cross or the Egyptian ankh. Again, another symbol that actually, because Brotherhood Satanism traces back to the ancient mystery schools, it's another occult symbol that actually belongs to the Brotherhood. Okay, there's numerous symbols like that, guys and girls. Wow. Satanic symbology. And let me tell you nothing. A lot of our satanic symbology surrounds us in everyday life. It's all over. Okay. I guess another good example is the back of the dollar bill. You'll see the Brotherhood pyramid there. It's occult symbology, correct? Absolutely. Actually, both sides of the Great Seal of the dollar bill are occult symbols. Both have a lot of esoteric interpretation to them. And there will come a time, certainly after Samhain, that Drew is actually going to discuss the symbology of the Great Seal of the United States. Both sides, the obverse and reverse side. It's going to be pretty cool. The difference is here, Drew's going to be discussing it from inside the Brotherhood, not conspiracy theory, not a bunch of bullshit, okay? Not a bunch of motherfucking shit that's a lie to mislead you from the truth, okay? So there's some more symbology that I'm giving you credence to, right? But there's so much of our symbology that's out there. Even the caduceus, okay, and the winged symbol, the staff with the wings, okay, that's used by the medical profession today, traces back to the Dark Druids. Absolutely, it does. And of course, we know it much earlier than that. And why would that actual symbology from that's now the medical symbol be important to Satanism or to the Brotherhood? What do you see? What's entwined around that staff? The rod of Hermes, or whatever they want to call it. What's entwined around? Our Brotherhood serpent. There you go. Bingo. That's entwined around. Oh, yes. Okay. We can continue to talk about symbology, and I'm going to constantly talk about symbology, okay? Let's give you a little more symbology here. Drew's ring. Both of them, for instance. Let's just strike with this one. The ram's head, another satanic symbol, traces back to the Gota Mendez in ancient Egypt, and actually the demon or ancient god named Amun. Absolutely. Traces also back to the Brotherhood of the Ram, another faction of Brotherhood that was in California. I do have an upcoming extensive blog called The Brotherhood in Hollywood. I was hoping I could get it done before this offline event coming up. It may end up being right after that. That is going to be my most extensive blog and a very knowledgeable blog about the Brotherhood in Hollywood, in California, and discusses the Brotherhood being there well before Anton LaVey decided to found the Church of Satan in 1966. So it's a real good book. Everybody's going to want to watch it. I even talk about my grandmother. She's very powerful in the Brotherhood, okay? The Brotherhood of Darkness, very powerful lady. I get to talk about her. A lot of things that Drew has accomplished in his time is because of his own family. Before that, I just had to thank, Lilith, Samael, and the demons for where I am today. And believe me, I'm a real believer. My dedication is unlike all the rest. I eat, sleep, and drink the Brotherhood. Very important. Now, there's a lot of symbology, again, like I said, surrounding even this ring. Just about it go. Okay. Which you see has an inverted star, not a right side up star like you see on Ephialtes Levi's sabbatical. This one's inverted, like it should be, basically. Okay. And let me go back to the history of the goat. Now, we know that before Satanism became known as, quote unquote, Satanism, or any kind of satanic church or satanic brotherhood, right? We were ancient satanic witchcraft. Fact. This goat symbolizes a sabbatic goat, but it also symbolizes Satan, who in those old brotherhood witchcraft covens could either be a representation of the man in black or Satan himself present at the Sabbath. Another really powerful symbol, guys. But you're going to notice something else about it. It's got the horns of duality. And there's a flaming torch of satanic Illuminati. Crowned with that, in fact. Okay. But the horns of duality, there you are. Why do you think Brotherhood Satanism stresses so much on the feminine too? Because we walk in balance. We walk in balance with both Lilith and Samael, with both the dark feminine and the satanic masculine. We walk both of them. We walk in balance. The horns of duality are just that. They are the horns of satanic balance. Important stuff, guys. It really, really is. Same with the ram's horns. They're horns of duality. Drew got them, I'm an Aries. Anyway, but let's talk some more, right? Well, satanic symbology, guys. When Drew says it's everywhere, it is everywhere. All right. Let's just talk about this simple inverted pentagram, which, of course, also can be an inverted pentacle, just the inverted star itself, not with a circle around it, right? The pentacle has two different usages. And you'll notice what we call the power pentacle is our satanic inverted pentacle. And then you'll notice the other pentacle will be the right side up star, the point up, which actually is symbolic of the four elemental powers. And the top point over your third eye here would be spirit. That connects, the spirit connects with the elements that way. That's why it's depicted that way. That particular star with the point up within a circle is actually a protection pentacle or a protection pentagram. Even in ancient Solomon's time, in King Solomon's time, in ancient culture, that was already out there. So it's very, very old. That's a super old symbology, everybody. I can't even stress how old it is. Okay, let's go back another symbol. What people think is the Jewish Star of David. Yeah, it was used by King Solomon and David, Solomon's father, in their occult practices. Believe me, it was used. But it was a protection symbol. Absolutely a protective symbol. So, do Satanists actually use the pentagram right side up or upside down? Yes, we use it both ways. Absolutely. 2 points up, like above Drew's head, and above, and 1 point down, and or the point up and the other points down. But both symbols have been used by satanic witches throughout our whole history, going back generations and centuries. Okay, and probably, like I said, thousands of years. These are symbols used by us. Okay, so this has also been called the Star of David. Okay, so that pretty much tells us in historical reference that even King David, the master magician of Solomon's, who taught Solomon so much and Hiram of Tyre so much, that David even had this symbol. Now, this symbol may even have been handed down before ancient Jewish mysticism used it, okay? It could even be as old as Atlantis. Picture it again. You have 2 triangles. You have a masculine triangle with the point up, and you have a feminine triangle with the point down. And individually, those are 2 symbols too that relate to Satanism. When you see them both together, my friends, my brothers and sisters, you're talking again the horns of duality, or that balance that Drew's been talking about. One represents the male, one represents the female. But why are they here pictured together and interlaced? Because it's the key. In symbology, there's so many keys. You see a symbol, it's an illustration, right? It could be art, it can be just a symbol being illustrated. Let me say something about symbology, right? It's veiled in allegory, but it's illustrated by symbols. Our dark craft. Absolutely. The merging together of these 2 triangles, bringing them together in balance, of course, went way back, that far back. But what does it tell the Brotherhood Satanists today, or the Satanists that wants balance in their life with both the feminine, the dark feminine, and the masculine? It tells us that even way back then, the symbols were telling us the way. Symbology points the way. An outer reflection of something always has an inner meaning, something behind the illustration, the pictorial, the art, the symbology. There's always what we have to do as Satanists today with our satanic symbology is to be able to open our third eye, right? And to see the symbology and understand the meaning of it. But it's more than just understanding, it's comprehending it fully. That takes teachers like Drew, where I can show these things to you. Then I let you look for yourself. That's the way of a way shower. That's a teacher like me. I'm not driven by ego. I'm driven by infernal service. Wow. Like I hope many, many other Satanist leaders will be. We're looking forward to that, actually. So you see these satanic symbols have a lot of meaning. Many people might not even understand their satanic symbology, but they are. Goddamn, symbology is everywhere, guys. Right there. What does that broom symbolize? You got any ideas? Okay. How about the priapic wand, the male's phallus, entering into the broom, which is the woman's vagina? There's your pubic hair, the end of the broom. The staff is the male power, the male priapic symbology. Go further. Look at it over here. You see a sword. Hold that sword up in your hand. It's no longer a cruciform sword. It's a inverted crucifix. Bingo. All right. Let's go a little further for Satanists of us that may also be Freemasons, right? Okay, symbology. It's everywhere. There. Quite an expensive Masonic ring, by the way. This is Drew's ring. Drew, as a Satanist, likes the black stone. Think about it for yourself. Why he wears the black stone. I have numerous Masonic rings, guys. I got probably 10 or 15. All right. There's even a Scottish Rite one here. Okay, there's some more symbology, right? I'll go into that in a minute. Okay. So, what do we have here? The G in the middle. Does that mean goat? In a way, you could say the symbology could mean a goat, could mean the goat, right? Because why does Drew say that? Because the other symbols, the compass and square, actually again represent something. The compass represents the male aspect, the horned one, Satan, right? Okay. And guess what the square represents? The earth. There you go. There's the dark feminine. All in one symbol. That G could also mean Gnostic. Okay. It's all symbology, my friends. And you have to understand the symbology, right? Okay. The symbology of the Scottish Rite ring, for instance. And I have an antique one. This is probably a $3,000 ring or more, right? Okay. And it is a consistory ring, which is the consistory is the 30th through the 33rd degree, by the way. Anybody wants to know what that means? But this one particularly, Drew really loves it. Not just because Raven bought it for me 1 year for my birthday. It's an antique as well as being an expensive ring. Okay. But why Drew loved this one is most Scottish Rite rings today have this triangle, which you see here is inverted. It's the dark feminine triangle. Now, most of the consistory rings or Scottish Rite rings today are masculine. That's why this one was more important to Drew. Who's my brother? Lilith is my mother. The dark feminine matters just as much to Drew, probably more so, than even some of our male aspect things in Satanism do. Why? You have to respect those ladies that represent the dark mother goddess. And that is every woman that's a Brotherhood Satanist, by the way. Talking about symbology. Why do we call ourselves the Brotherhood of Satan instead of calling ourselves the Sisterhood of Satan? I'll tell you why. Technically speaking, we could be the Sisterhood and Brotherhood of Satan or the Brotherhood and Sisterhood of Satan. But back in the Brotherhood mystery schools, here I'm giving you some more info that's not generally known. Back in Satanism, guess what? Everything is there, hidden and illustrated. It's hidden and illustrated. The feminine symbology is just as important, as I've said. Okay. I want to go further with some things. You have a double-headed eagle. Now, that actually Scottish Rite symbol is actually called the double-headed eagle of Lagash. And the Scottish Rite admits it goes back to the ancient cultures in those mystery schools. Those mystery schools, my friends, were the Brotherhood. It doesn't even matter what culture it was. The Brotherhood was there in all those cultures. Called the Brotherhood, strangely enough. Oh, wow. So what I'm getting at here, back in the mystery schools, as initiates, it didn't matter if you were a male initiate or a female initiate. And yes, it was different than the way lodges are today, where women can sometimes be omitted, which is not right, by the way, in Drew's eyes, or in my own darkened soul. It's not right. But let me tell you a real secret. And yes, this is Brotherhood. Even the female initiates were styled as brothers, brethren. Wow. No, it's a fact. It's a fact. It's not a degrading of femininity at all, guys, though. It's our ancient Brotherhood mystery schools wanting that balance with the dark divine feminine from the get-go. They even called the female initiates, we're all brothers. Wow. Now today, it's come down in modern times, that we call each other, by our gender, right? Mostly. Now there's new genders out there now too that we accept too. Okay. This is so important for people to understand this kind of balance, right? And our symbols show it. Our symbols show it. Now let me step a step further why the female initiate was so important. Again, as I said, she represents the dark goddess. Now, in those Brotherhood mystery schools in the ancient cultures, those schools could be dedicated to numerous gods and goddesses. Of course, who are they? They were later demonized by the church. And today, again, Satanism uses the term demon, a lesser god right? Just like Debbie means. And we have to understand that really these demons and demonesses were the ancient gods and goddesses. So yes, there were entire temples dedicated to them. It wasn't just the main mystery schools, like the Brotherhood of Luxor or any of those, or the Egyptian Brotherhood, right? This was in all of the mystery schools, my friends. And even King Solomon liked to have his wife's beliefs expounded and promoted in Solomon's temple. So within Solomon's temple, Drew's saying this is fact, and it is. Within Solomon's temple, there was even what today they would call demonic worship. Okay. But to us, they're also the gods and goddesses because that's who they were. Those cultures didn't call them demons. They called them their god or their goddesses. And you had lunar goddesses. You had solar gods. You had it. There's so much. But guess what? There is the root of Satanism. Any Satanist that believes in demonology and uses demonic ritual today, which is what we call them today's demons. Wow. I don't have to answer the rest of that. Let's get back to some symbology. Okay, you see something else over here behind Drew. It's a scythe. Symbols are not just a symbol like above my head with the sigil of Baphomet. Everything is a symbol. Lots of things are symbols. Okay. The wise Satanist starts to begin to discern that symbology and interpret the meaning of that symbology as they grow and are becoming a Satanist. You're really becoming a Satanist after your initiation. You're growing into being. You are becoming that. So here's a scythe. People coming to our upcoming festival are going to see Drew with that scythe in ritual, in one of our rituals. It's not just a symbol of a harvest lord. Okay? It's a very powerful symbol. The cutting down of the harvest. The cutting of the corn. Very powerful symbol, particularly at this next festival we are sponsoring offline, which is Harvest Home. Okay. So again, understand symbology, everybody. Let me talk to you again about another symbol, the hourglass. The hourglass is a fleeting reminder that the sands of time on our own lives, our mortality, can run out. Always make what you do as a Satanist, be that something that helps you make your own personal satanic mark. Make the things you do in your life become a harvest to last. Very important. So much symbology. Okay. Master Counselor Gabble. Let me say something. So everything's symbology, am I right? Okay, here we go. On Drew's desk is Master Counselor Desico. Again, here's a symbol used by a lot of Satanists. And yes, it does mean death. But it's a symbol that actually reminds us again the same thing the scythe does behind it, right there. It represents the exact same thing. Woman or man, Satanist, sister or brother, know your mortality. This is something I show everybody in ritual at harvest time. And I remind us. Why? Because Drew becomes this. Drew becomes death this time of year. That's why Drew's always telling people, Drew's most potent time as a satanic witch and master is harvest time. Don't fuck with Drew during harvest time. Not a smart thing to do. At all. Really, don't fuck with Drew anytime. Too many people learn that lesson. But they asked for it. So. And I'm a Satanist. Symbology, my friends. So fucking important to the Brotherhood. All right. Here we go. I will do some concluding remarks, okay? Because I'm not here to take everybody's time today. Like I said, I'm very fucking busy. But I wanted to make this time for all of you. Okay. Here we go. The serpent. You're going to see a main theme within the Brotherhood of Satan. And you know what it is? We are the Brotherhood. We are the serpent. We are the Brotherhood. We are the serpent. Our ancestors walk with us. And believe me, when I do that chant, it's very fucking powerful. It's much more powerful than what I just did, okay? I'm toning it down. What is the serpent the symbol of? The ancient Brotherhood. Yes, again. There are many satanic symbols, everybody. Many, many, many. But I would have been remiss not to mention the Brotherhood serpent. Okay? Like other organizations of Satanists, and there are a few satanic covens, that also honor the serpent. Why do we honor the serpent? What does this serpent represent? As Satanists, I don't even really got to explain that one, I don't think. But we know the serpent represents what? A transferal of the gnosis. Actually, the serpent represents knowledge. Being imparted. The serpent's bite. Wow, I'll go to something a little heavier there. The serpent's bite. There's Brotherhood symbology we use that's actually called signs and symbols. Okay, tokens, if you will. And the serpent's bite. It's another Brotherhood handshake. That's the serpent's bite. Believe me, if I shake hands with you and I do the serpent's bite with you, you will remain a Satanist the rest of your life, even if you decided you didn't want to be one. Of course, Drew would never do the serpent bite on somebody that wasn't the right person, the right soul. Drew's been around too long to make mistakes like that. Powerful serpent, powerful symbol of the Brotherhood, and a powerful symbol of the transference of our ancient wisdom, our continuity from those ancient Brotherhood mystery schools to today. Go a bit further with this symbol. You're going to see this symbol where? On the high priest's forehead of every Egyptian high priest and even some pharaohs. Because what some people don't know, some of those pharaohs were actually high priests as well. Okay. Going into some other things at some other time, we will talk about the Egyptian Brotherhood. It's another class Drew definitely wants to do for us. Okay. So now you're seeing symbology. Lots of it. Okay. And of course, if we're using symbology, we must mention the vampire cross. Now, each vampire clan has their own cross, of course. But you'll notice that even that cross goes back to where? Brotherhood Mystery Schools in ancient Egypt. Because originally it's an ankh. Changed slightly. So guess what, everybody? Even back in the original Egyptian Brotherhood times, ancient times in Egypt, they believed in it. They believed in that ankh. And yes, let's just say this. There was vampirism in ancient Egypt. It developed in ancient Egypt at a time called Septepi, the time before the first Egyptian dynasty. Why do you think vampire clans today, we do wear those things? I don't have one on right now. I have one. We wear what's later called a vampire cross, but it's really another depiction of the crux ansata, enhanced perhaps to, I don't have one here, I have one in the bedroom, enhanced to reflect that particular clan too. Again, this is symbology, right? That is and does and has meant a lot within Satanism. Yes, we utilize these things too. We're not the narrow-minded kind of Satanists in the Brotherhood that think, like atheistic Satanism does, that thinks none of the rest of the occult world that Drew's talking about has anything to do with Satanism. You guys just don't have a clue. You don't even know your own continuity. You don't even know that the demons you're summoning come from those places. Okay. I always say the brotherhood's not amongst them. We say the brotherhood above all the rest. That doesn't mean we think we're better than everybody. Where we're above all the rest is our knowledge. Okay? And no, we're not the type of an organization that will keep that knowledge from our members. We're totally opposite of what people might think about us. Totally. We're not authoritarians. We want you to think for yourself. We want Brotherhood Satanism that are their own star. Okay, here's another symbol. I'm backing up. How about a living pentagram? How about a living pentagram? There's my head. There's a point of the star. There's the other 2 points. My legs spread out of the other 2 points. Yes, Satanists use symbology, and it's very powerful stuff. If you know the keys and the codes and you know how to use it right? Remember, every demon connects with the elemental powers too. A lot of people don't understand that. I don't know how they don't. That might be another discussion sometime. Actually, I do talk about it within the Brotherhood, though. Okay. And last but not least, let's go into one last symbol because I didn't mean to take people's time today. I hope I've enlightened you a little bit, satanically, like I need to be doing, right? I'm a darkened soul. I'm not a light soul. I'm not a light worker. I'm a dark worker. I'm a dark light worker, black light worker, whatever you want to call me. Okay? Let's go back to one last symbol. And that's really a whole plethora of symbology. What do you think that might be that Drew would mention? And he would have to mention before he would conclude anything talking about satanic symbology. Absolutely correct, guys. Those of you that thought about it, and I'm sure you do because I tried to transfer a little thought form to you. Okay? Yes. The sigils of the demons themselves. The characters and sigils of each demon is what? Symbology. They're symbols, characters, illustrations that what? Represent that particular demon or demoness. Again, some of the most powerful of all satanic symbology is the demons' seals themselves. So is satanic symbology a part of Satanism or not? Is symbology a part of Satanism or not? If we believe in the demons, it absolutely is. And Drew can then take his gavel as master counselor and rest his case. There's no argument from anybody. You can argue if you wanted to, but then you just don't know your own continuity, and that's fucking stupid. Satanists despise stupidity or weakness. Weak Satanists don't carry knowledge. Strong Satanists do. Okay. Thank you guys for your time today. Occult symbology is everywhere. Is a lot of it satanic? Yes. Now, why would the Brotherhood say that and Drew say that? I'll tell you why. All of the occult is under the regency of Satan, no matter how they want to present it for public relations purposes. Hail Satan, everybody. And don't forget, always hail Satan first and then hail yourself as a Satanist. You're the highest embodiment of a human being. Start to walk and act like it. Live it. Believe. So powerful. Thousands of other things I could show you as far as symbology goes. So much more. What's that? What does this mean? And Drew does this. Now, first you put your hand out like this. Then you do this. No, it's not live long and prosper. It is in a way. But it's not from Star Trek. It's not from Star Trek. Even though William Shatner is one of us. This is not from Star Trek. This is the old Brotherhood symbol of what? I'll tell you what. Which is honor. If Drew says something to you and shows you this sign, he means by anything held in honor to him. The demons, my own family, everything. That means my word's invalid. I gave you my witch's honor. Symbology's everywhere. Our symbology's everywhere. My friends, I thank you for your time. I hope you have a great, rest of this week. I hope your Labor Day was good. Okay. I got pretty busy over Labor Day. And we're prepping for our offline Sabbath event. Anybody watching my videos, you guys owe it to yourselves to come to one of our events. You have no idea what you're missing. For the first time, Drew's showing at this upcoming event a Brotherhood of Darkness ritual known as the Feast of the Beast. The Bride of the Beast. It's from the Infernal Calendar. You never see the rituals. You always see the Infernal Calendar out there. Usually presented by who? Conspiracy theorists. Right-wing Christian evangelists like Spritzmeyer. Okay, he's one of them. Can't remember his first name, but Franz Spritzmeyer. Okay. But that was based on what they did show out there with the Infernal Calendar was only the calendar, which is the dates. And they said some of the things I think the Brotherhood does at those rituals. Fallacy. Remember, originally that information got to him from people that actually left the Brotherhood. So they sensationalized our real history and a lot about what we do internally. Okay. You want to learn about the Brotherhood from where? From the horse's mouth, right? From inside the Brotherhood, from Drew, from Raven, from other Brotherhood Saint members. We have many qualified people. And Drew expects to see more. Okay, my friends. You don't know about me. I can sit here and talk for hours and hours on even one subject. But I'm not here to take your time. Understand the powers granted to us right now by Satan are getting stronger. It's going to continue. We are going to get stronger. We are going to unite for the first time in history. Brother to Satan did the experiment, guys. We started 2003. We actually invited Satanists, people who believed in Satanism, left-hand path, and the dark occult arts to our festivals, offline things we sponsored. We could all come together and learn a lot. We did major rituals together and all kinds of stuff. And there's all these people out there expounding satanic unity doesn't exist. So what did we do? We laid the groundwork for everybody. We laid you out a left-hand path where we created a vehicle for you to live your Satanism. Absolutely, we did. But the truth of it is, it really shows satanic unity exists already and can be a major power factor for theistic Satanism, especially going into the future. The time's now. The demons are riding forth. Join with us. Become who thou art. Be what thou wilt. And do not forget, do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Hail Satan first, then hail yourself, and hail the Brotherhood, bringer of gnosis and knowledge, as we will always be. Hail Satan.